Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. This ought to be a tasty treat. This is Knee Deep's Lupulin River. And lupulin comes from, anybody that grows hops, like I do for home brewing or whatever. When you bust open one of those hop cones, there's a yellow, sticky yellow substance inside there. That's what gives beer its flavor. Especially the bitterness and the hop aromas come from that little yellow stuff that's inside that hop cone. So, and that's called lupulin. That's the term that's used for that sticky yellow substance that grows inside the hop cones that the brewers use to give the beer its bitterness and its aromas. So, the only drawback to Knee Deep, they make some great stuff. Everything I've had from them has been really tasty because they don't date anything. I guess they figure they sell everything and they don't have to, but that's a misconception. Another reason, there's two reasons why brewers don't date their beers, guys. First of all, if they don't date, it has a real long shelf life. Whether it's good or bad, it'll sit on the shelf because there's no date on it. People buy it, and they don't have any idea how old the beer is. Well, if they're lucky enough to grab one off the shelf while it's still fresh, they're going to love it. The downside of that is that if they grab one off the shelf, it's been sat on the shelf 6, 8 months, a year, they're probably not going to like it because it's going to turn into a malt bomb at that time. So it's a love-hate relationship there. You get it fresh, you're going to love it, and if you get it old, you're probably not going to love it. You're going to hate it. And the good and bad of that is, if you love it, you're going to buy it again, and if you don't love it, you're probably not going to buy it again. So the dating machine is an expensive machine to do, but they need to do it. They need to do it, guys, especially on IPAs and double IPAs, because those hops fade over time. So as long as they're under the exception, and Three Floyds used to be under that same exception, but they've stepped up to the plate and are dating everything now. And a lot of breweries have said. And I've told you guys last year that I wasn't going to buy any of these beers, but I still get beers sent to me, and I do order some beers, hoping that they're going to have dates on them. But this particular one, this comes from Servall Liquors out in San Diego, or craftcity.com on the internet if you want to order something from them if your state allows them to ship beers to you. But Donovan and the guys, I'm sure they get the freshest beers they can get their hands on, and they don't sit on a shelf for a long period of time. And he told me this one was fairly fresh, so I'm taking him for his word that it is a fresh beer. So we'll see what it brings to the table here. We're getting ready to pop the cap on it and see what it's about. So hopefully it's something that needs to be done as far as small craft breweries, but like I said, it is an expensive machine to get. The way around that is put it on the label, print it on the label. That way, when it goes on the bottle, it's there. But the downfall of that is if they print everything on the label and they want to reuse that label year after year, they're stuck with old labels. So to me, they only ought to print as many labels as they're going to use for that year and have the date on there. Just my opinion. If I was a brewer on the commercial brewer side, brewing beers for the public to buy and consume, I definitely would do that. I'd definitely do that. Maybe one day there'll be a Greg's Law, as one of my subscribers said, and they'll have to do it. I hate to see them come to the fact that they have to pass a law to get these guys to do it, but some of them still refuse to do it. We're in 2015, and they still refuse to do it. But like I said, they maybe have the arrogant attitude. We sell everything that we produce, and it doesn't sit on the shelf long. That's all fine and dandy until you get one that's been on the shelf too long, and you buy it, you spend your hard-earned money on it, and it's turned into a malt bomb at that time. So enough about that. Let's get on with this one, guys. Commercial description on this one. This is an 8%er, according to the label. It doesn't have the IBUs listed on here. Yes, it does. No, it says IBUs. Ask Jeremy. So Jeremy must be the head brewer there. So Jeremy, put the frickin' date on the bottle, Jeremy. Can you hear me? There's no excuse for it. It's just DD Brewer's big enough to do it, and they choose not to. So, enough said. Whether we're going to get a 10 beer in a 9 bottle, time will tell. It doesn't have the IBUs listed on either side here for this beer, so I guess Jeremy is the only one that knows that. So, commercial description, this double IPA includes Mosaic and Simcoe hops, both excellent hops in my opinion. I love both of them. South American specialty malt and tons of tastiness. Looks like liquid gold, smells like bright tropical fruit, pine forest, and tastes like all that and more. Very nice description there. I'm hoping it is true. Food pairings for this cuisine is barbecue, cheese of pepper, Monterey, pepper jack, sharp blue, cheddar, your more pungent cheeses, Gorgonzola, Limburger, and the meat for this is game, grilled meat, salmon, and glass for a snifter tulip oversized wine glass. I got the Sovereign beer glass, and it says here it can be sold for long periods, which is baloney. Just because it's an 8%er, it's a hoppy beer, and those hops are going to fade. You try to keep this 6-8 months a year. Time you get this beer a year old, it's going to be a malt bomb. It really is. Alright guys, I don't think there's anything else we need to talk about, so let me get the cap off of this bad boy. As I told you in a couple of reviews, I'm doing these reviews to get these beers out of the fridge before I go on vacation. I'm not coming back till the first week of, this is about the 11th or 12th, somewhere in that area of April, and you won't see this till May. So I want to get these beers out. I didn't want them to sit in the fridge for another 3 weeks till I come back and could review them. So I'm doing them now, and I will post them when I get back. This is a bomber. It's a 22 ouncer, big beer, enough to share, which is what I intend to do. So you guys out in San Diego can get into Servall Liquors and buy these beers. You're really damn lucky. And you guys like me that are not in California or in the San Diego area that want to order these beers, as long as your state allows them to ship beers in that state, you can do it. So just jump on craftcity.com and check out the 2,000 plus beers that he's got, craft beers he's got, and order you something up. That's what I do. Alright guys, about a finger and a half of head on that pour. It is a very light colored. It's not quite to the macro lager golden, but it is a nice tangerine pumpkin-y color. Very good looking beer in the glass. Very clear. I can see the bulb right through it. Let's get a nose on it. Ooh, yeah. This is a fresh beer. I mean, you can tell. Pine and grapefruit and pineapple is just exploding out of the beer. Definitely a West Coast style double IPA. A lot of tropical fruit notes in there. Mango and apples and pears and oranges. Very juicy smelling. Wonderful aroma on this beer. Let's give it a taste. Cheers everybody. Cheers Donovan and the guys out there at Servall Liquor, craftcity.com. Check them out guys. Oh well, yeah. The grapefruit and the pineapple and the mango. A lot of tropical fruit notes in this. Very, 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 very tasty. Kind of figured I was not going to be disappointed in this beer. Jeremy, I guess you and the guys have got it going on out there. If we could just get you to date your bottles, brother. That is the biggest thing. And I know you probably think, well, we sell everything that and nothing sits on the shelf. But it could happen, guys. It could happen. I mean, beers in Virginia are sold in single, especially the bombers. Nobody buys a case of the bombers. They're not packaged in 4 packs or 6 packs. They're sold individually. So these beers could possibly sit on a shelf somewhere. And not knowing the date on it, you may buy a beer that's been sitting there a little bit too long, guys. But very tasty. Like I said, Donovan said this was a fresh bottle that he sent me. So It does taste like it. It does taste like it. It tastes very fresh. The hops are exploding out of the glass. Very nice tropical fruit notes, very juicy. Like I said, I love Mosaic, very citrusy hop. Uh, and I love Simcoe. Simcoe gives, I love the Simcoe hops for brewing here myself. I don't grow them here because I've not been able to get a rhizome, which is how you start off your hop plants, in Simcoe. Maybe that will change in the next year or so, and I'll be able to get some of those and start growing some Simcoe hops. So, and as far as the hops go, I went out there and worked and pulled all the old vines and stuff because the hops are about 3 feet tall already. And they just poked their head out of the ground about 2 weeks ago, and they're already 3 feet tall. So I redid the strings and then tightened everything up and cleaned out old vines and got everything going. But like I said, some of them are already this high already, and try to train some of them to go up, start up the string and stuff. So by the time I get back from vacation, they'll probably be 6 or 7 feet tall already, and we're just in the first of May. Last year I got 2 different harvests off of them. Midsummer I was harvesting, and then by September or so I was able to get to October, 1st of October, before the first frost and freeze. I was able to get a second batch out of it. So once they're established, they usually come to life. As long as they get enough water and enough sun, them suckers grow, boy, they really do. So this is right out of the fridge, 40 degrees. Let's let it warm up and pour her a glass, and we'll come back and do the final chug and grate. Pretty damn impressive beer so far. A great double IPA if you can get it fresh. I'll be right back, guys. We'll do the final chug. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little left here. This is very tasty. This is very, very tasty. The grapefruit and the pineapple. I've been sipping on it probably about 30 minutes or so. It is very pleasant. The alcohol is very well hidden. 8%. When the hops are exploding out of the glass, they're in the nose, the aroma, they're in the taste. Very, very well made beer. This beer is delicious. It really is. A nice balance between the hops and the bitterness and the malt in this one. Very well made beer. Very, very well made. Jeremy, you're doing a good job. Let's see if we can get a date on this thing, man. We gotta have a date on these double IPAs. Final chug. Guys, this is a 9 beer in my opinion. But, there's always a but, isn't it? It has no date. It has no date. I'm going to look one more time. There is nothing on this bottle whatsoever. This is a 9 beer as far as I'm concerned, but it's at an 8 bottle. I said earlier it could be a 10 beer and a 9 bottle. It's an 8 beer. It's very, very tasty for what it is. It's a great double IPA if you can get it fresh, which I'm pretty sure this one is. But we keep getting those buts. But it has no date, guys. So I'm gonna give it to 8, which is an A minus. If it had a date on it, I'd probably give it a 95. But it has no date. I'm gonna give it a 91. Very delicious. If you can get the Need Eat Brewing beers, you need to pick it up if you know it's fresh. But not knowing that, if you're buying it from the beer store, I mean, just because they just got it in doesn't mean it's fresh. It could have been in the warehouse for a while. Unless you're going to the brewery and actually picking this up where you know it's fresh, it's not been sitting around. That would be the only way you would know. I mean, even though we just got it in, well, how long did it sit in the warehouse? How long did the transportation take? So, a whole lot of things that could be eliminated and alleviated by putting that date on the bottom. So, there's no questions then. You know how long it's taken to get to the warehouse. You know how long it's set in the warehouse. You know how long. You know the whole story if it's got a date on the bottle, guys. So, 8 for me on this one. Could have been a 9 with a date. Over to excuse me, over to Beer Advocate. Beer Advocate says 95 world class. If it had a date, that's exactly where I would put it, somewhere between 95 and a 97. But with no date, it gets to 91 for me. And over to Rate Beer. Rate Beer says 96 overall, but only 81 in the style. I think it's a 90 beer, guys. I really do. And I probably would give it to 95 if it had a date on it. So we need to get these guys, these brewers, to realize they need to put a date on this style of beer. If it had been an Imperial Stout, the year would have sufficed. But on your IPAs, your double IPAs, and your lower ABV beers, they need to have a bottle on date. So, with that being said, if you've had this one from Knee Deep Brewing, their Lupulin River double IPA, let me know what you think. And let's take that walk tomorrow into the kitchen and see what's in the fridge. We'll see you then.